Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is the Rare Disease Week where we are talking about all things that has to do with rare disease, chronic pain, but today's video is about the rare disease that I have. This is kind of an update video. I've done one before and I'll link that in the description box. And then there's a little bit of a journey of when I was going on for the clinical trial, and there's a playlist for that. So I will also link that in the description box if you're interested in taking a peek at that. So today I'm going to go over some of the things that were said in the other video, but updated. Updated because there is so much more that I have learned over the last few years since I did that video. That video has really reached and really has helped quite a few people. I'm so thankful because that's ultimately what I did that for. It's to get out awareness on what Dercums disease is and lipedema now, to be able to help anybody else out there that may be on the same journey of trying to figure out what to do about their diagnosis. I'm going to start off by telling you a little bit about what Dercums disease is. Dercums disease is a connective tissue disease, and it also affects the adipose tissue, and it affects nerves. It will affect the vascular system, and there's different things. It's still a lot more to learn about Dercums disease. They have linked it to autoimmune diseases. It also is linked genetically. With my particular case, they believe that mine was a genetic mutation between my mom and my dad. There was a lot of different things that they had in their health, looking over the health history that you can take from each side that would have made the perfect storm to create Dercums disease in my body. Since then, I have been diagnosed with lipedema, which is also a nodule in the tissues. So I have Dercums tumors and I have lipedema nodules, both. And I actually have more lipedema nodules than I do Dercums tumors. And what lipedema does is it wreaks havoc in the body as well. So those nodules are mixed in with the tumors from Dercums disease, and then lipedema has fibrotic tissue that bind these tumors together into big clumps. So where before we were thinking that we had these large Dercums tumors, now come to find out it is lipedema clumping with that fibrotic tissue, all those tumors together to make one big mass. And so that is all over in my tissues. There has been a lot of studies as far as weight loss goes, because a lot of doctors tend to believe that it is, that you just need to lose weight, you need to lose weight. And I have more of this kind of description of what happened in the past with being diagnosed in my previous video. So if you're interested in listening to how that whole process went with being misdiagnosed and told that I just need to lose weight and what all happened in that period of time that progressed my disease even further, then watch that first video and that will go through all that. Some people have went in and had a surgeon go in and remove the areas where the tumors are the most prevalent to try to relieve the pain. It does not relieve the pain unless you get all the tumors out. There is one doctor, his name is Dr. Schwartz, and he's out of California, and he actually has paired up with my specialist that I was seeing, Dr. Karen Herbst. What he is doing is he will go in, kind of like how liposuction looks, and they break up all the fibrotic tissue that's clumping all these tumors together. But the key is that liposuction would never work because it would never suck up because it's not fat, it's not liquefied. These are solid tumors. So what they have to do is they make little incisions in several places throughout wherever they're treating at that time, and they manually push and move out of those incisions all of the tumors. They remove every bit of it, all the fibrotic tissue, all the tumors, and people are becoming pain-free or almost pain-free. And that is amazing. That is leaps and bounds from where I was 8 years ago with this prognosis telling me that there's no cure and it's a progressive disease. So that is just such great news. The bad news is that there's only one doctor that does it. The other bad news is that it is extremely expensive if you wanted to pay for it out of pocket. We're looking at quite possibly $120,000. That includes all the surgeries and not even the travel that it would take to go back and forth and stay up there during these surgeries. So it is an enormous amount of money if your insurance won't cover it. If you have this disease and you live in the California area and your insurance covers it, you may be in luck. But unfortunately, like my insurance, they approved the procedure. They say that I need it and they approved it. But the problem is that they only want to do it in network, not out of network. This is in California, that's out of network. The problem with that is that nobody in my area does this specialty lipedema Dercums disease procedure. So it's impossible. It's impossible for me to get it. We are going to look into looking at contacting the Kansas Insurance Commissioner and see if there's anything that they can do, since this is something that would be pretty life-changing for me and health-wise would help me out tremendously, but we haven't gone to that step yet. Unfortunately, there's just so many different hoops. It's so frustrating because, you know, you find things that will work, but unless your insurance is on board with it, you have to pay for it out of pocket. If you can't afford to pay out of pocket, then you're just right back at square one. So it is something that's very important, and I hope that will eventually improve in time. You know, I'm just talking 8 or 9 years since I was diagnosed. So in that amount of time, finding out all of this additional information, it's hard for me to believe that it wouldn't keep going and keep getting better. So now that we have a way of not curing it, because it will never go away. Those tumors will grow back even if you do the surgery. There's still relief, and for a long period of time, because it would take a long time for all of those to grow back to the point where it is debilitating. Taking and reversing that back, being able to get around and not be in such extreme pain would just be a huge improvement. So hopefully one day we'll be able to work something out to be able to get that done. Something about lipedema and Dercums disease also that I want to share is that they say it is not your fault. Like when I went in for my stem cells, that playlist is in there, but I went in to do a clinical trial and I got disqualified because I have extremely enlarged nerves throughout my legs. And they don't know about the rest of the body. They were just looking at my legs. They've never seen that before. They have no idea what's causing that, because typically enlarged nerves like that is found in leprosy, and they know I don't have leprosy. So they really were trying to have me get to Mayo Clinic to maybe get that diagnosed and do a nerve biopsy, but I'm just not, I want to feel better, not so much find out some of this other stuff. Because even if I was to go and do that, I'm not really sure what they could do about it anyway. So, you know, it would be just for them, almost like for a research type thing, for them to be able to see something that they've never seen before and do more research on it. So as much as that is probably a good thing for everybody involved that may have the same similar issue, it's still taxing on me to do that and not get any relief from it. I'd much rather spend my time and energy trying to get the surgery done that can help. The other thing that disqualified me is that I had more lipedema than I did Dercums. And what lipedema I had, which was the nodules and the fibrotic tissue, were surrounding the Dercums tumors. So they were unable to do the clinical trial for me. That disqualified me, but the doctor was so amazing. She's like, you know, I don't feel comfortable just sending you home without getting you some kind of help. And she's like, I have seen patients that have went and had stem cells done, and it has truly helped them. At this time, I was still in my wheelchair. I was in a wheelchair for 4.5 years, if you didn't know that. It was a motorized wheelchair, not like a scooter or anything like that. It was a full-size motorized wheelchair that was going to be mine to use for the rest of my life. It was a $30,000 wheelchair. It actually also, it lifted up, so if I needed to get something off of a shelf or something like that, it would raise me up. And I had a wheelchair van. I still have both. I never got rid of it. But the stem cells sometimes would lessen people's pain, or in my instance, it helped repair some of the damaged nerves that was making me have my legs give out and have multiple falls. I had multiple falls. I could still walk, but Doctors did not want me walking outside of my home. I'd had too many falls and too many concussions, and it was becoming dangerous. If I had another concussion to my head, it could not be a very good situation for me. The falls have unfortunately messed with my memory. My memory has been not so good since all of the pain anyways. My brain has changed in some ways since all of this has started, but the falls definitely messed with my memory. My memory is not good. I do not remember things that I really should. I can remember something for a period of time and then forget, but they don't want me to have any more falls, and I haven't. And I haven't had even a moment where I felt like my legs were going to give out like they did before since having the stem cells. The stem cells was 100% out of pocket. I did have a GoFundMe going at the time, and we did raise some money for that, which was amazing. The stem cells was quite a crazy procedure. I would do it again if I felt like I needed it to keep walking, but I can only do it twice with my own stem cells, and after that you have to have family donation. I would never ask any of my family to do it because it's quite a procedure, and the recovery is not all that great. There are some people that have done it for pain and things like that, and they have ended up with better eyesight, heart conditions have been, things like that have improved where they did it for one specific thing, but stem cells have a mind of their own, and they go where they want to go to repair. Stem cells typically last about 3 years, and I'm already on my 3rd year. So I'm hoping that it just continues to work in my body. There's no set time. It's just once the stem cells repair that area in your body, it just depends on how much your body then reverses that and goes back to where it was. In other words, like if you have an autoimmune disease means that your body is actually attacking itself, and it can be in different areas of the body, and there's no telling where your autoimmune is going to go and attack. So in this case, what happens is once those stem cells repair that area, it just depends on what your body does to break that back down and deteriorate it. So there's no real set determination on how long it'll last because it's really up to your own body. Even though they say most, it lasts about 3 years, who knows how long it's going to last in mine. I'm just glad that I at least hit the 3-year mark. So I'm happy about that. Dercums disease is a pretty tough disease, and so is lipedema. Lipedema is very, very painful, and learning that I have 2 very extremely painful diseases, I was like, fantastic. But the Dercums disease can allow other diseases to come into the picture as well. I have EDS, which is laxity of the joints. I dislocate very easily. I have a vascular disease, a weakened vascular system that is actually a big component to Dercums disease. Dercums disease is actually formed because you have leaky vessels. So those tumors are formed because your blood is leaking out of your vessels into the tissue and then forming a tumor because your body's saying, uh-oh, there's a foreign substance in the body and it goes to attack it. And when it does, it forms those tumors. The leaky vessels is a big thing that can also cause all different kinds of issues. You can be more prone to strokes, more prone to aneurysms. You have a weakened vascular system. People with Dercums disease, they constantly have bruises, usually all over their body. So if you bump yourself, you bruise very easily. I have hypertensive retinopathy, and that's where the blood vessels die off towards the retina and can make you go blind. And they have to watch that very closely. It's different things that this disease in itself causes, but then also can have a feathering effect in other areas. I also have something called Raynaud's, which I can't hold anything cold. Your hands get to feel like they are frostbit within a second of holding something cold, or they get cold by themselves and they turn blue or gray. My feet do the same thing. They can get numb, and that's all the vascular system. My joints deteriorate very quickly because of the laxity of the joints. So now it's kind of almost like bone on bone. So you have those kind of issues, arthritis, osteoporosis, that kind of thing, that all just kind of just connects in with just having this disease that's causing havoc throughout your body. Unfortunately, having this disease, it's tough, but you have to listen to your body. I have 3 videos that are going to be going up the week that you're seeing this, and they're all going to be around chronic pain. So if you're watching this, if you do not have what I'm talking about with lipedema and Dercums disease, you may have chronic pain, and this may be helpful for you. I have a video going up called 10 Ways to Help with Your Chronic Pain. That is some tips that I know have helped me, and hopefully it's something that might help you as well. Pushing through and doing things that, pushing your body past its limits, it can put you down in bed for a week or two. My body has flared up so bad that I have not been able to move out of bed for 2 weeks. And now, since I'm implementing some of these things that have kind of stopped that from getting to that point, it has improved. So knowing my body's limits, not pushing past that is very important. If you're watching this, if you have support, if you have family support, friend support, that's super important. But if you don't, you just have to do what's best for you and try to take care of your body and what is going to be helpful for you in the long run as much as possible. I can't express that enough because I know for a fact I'm in different support groups online for Dercums disease and lipedema. And Dercums disease is in the top 3 in the most painful diseases of the world. And there are people that cannot take the pain and they have ended their lives. I know that dealing with Dercums disease is no joke. There are people out there that can help you. Do what it takes to take care of yourself and your body. And so I hope some of that can help. That's why I'm doing this update. I will be linking somewhere that you can call if you feel like you get to that point. I hate to see that, and I don't want to see that anymore. The pain is extreme, and it is important that you take time to make sure that you can live the best quality life that you possibly can and take it one day at a time. Get into a support group. Get where you can be with other people that understand what you're going through. Be able to work through some of those really tough times whenever you are unable to function. You're in extreme pain and it's not letting up. Living in pain every single day and, living in the 8, 9, and 10 scale of pain every single day is a really tough thing to do. I do not discredit that. I live that. If you look too far out, or if you think too far ahead, it will get you in a bad headspace. We have to live each day the way it comes to us and try to get through it the best we can. Just look, if I would have allowed my pain to overwhelm me 8 years ago, 9 years ago when I got diagnosed and they told me no cure, progressive, all we can do is do things that are experimental to see if it helps. If I would have gotten my head and said there's no cure, I wouldn't be here today seeing how they have progressed and now has a surgery that can actually take the pain completely away. And so thank God that now I know this. Am I able to get it right now? No, I'm still not going to give up. I'm going to still push my insurance company. I'm still going to push forward with this. It may not be right away, but I've already waited 9 years and I know I can keep going. Just knowing that there is always hope. And I do put a lot of my hope in my faith. I know that everybody is here for a purpose and a reason. Even though we go through trials, God never says, He never says our journeys are going to be easy and a bed of roses. Never promise. That is not our promise. But you know what He did say? He did say that He would be there for us through it all, and that we can learn through our toughest times, and we can grow through our toughest times, and we can help others through our toughest times, and we can show the love of God through our trials and how we react. I 100% know that that's what gets me through each day. I said that in my last video. I say it in this one because I want to be very clear. I may be giving you, hey, this is what I've done to help with pain, this, that, or the other, but ultimately that's what my core comes back to. So I want to make sure that I make that very clear in this video as well. Just know that as I go along this journey, I will pop in from time to time, do more videos like this, and do updates. If I have more information, like the stem cells and now the surgery, if I find out any more information that could be helpful to you guys, I absolutely will pop on here and fill you guys in. Again, if you want to see the whole entire story, the whole history behind being misdiagnosed and leading up to when I made that video, watch that video. I'll also put the playlist to the whole journey of the clinical trial and the stem cells down below as well if you're interested in watching those. I hope this was helpful in some sort of way. This is National Rare Disease Month, and I thought that this would be a great way to give you guys an update and additional information about what is out there and the options that are available. I truly appreciate your guys' time being here today. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next time I see you guys, I hope glitter catches your eye but never goes in it. Take care. Bye-bye.